Welcome to the White Criminology podcast. I'm Matt. I'm joined here with Ash.
Hey.
So what we're going to do this episode is it's just going to be a nice casual conversation circling around hate crime and the way we deal with criminals as well. There's not necessarily a clear agenda. We're not here to kind of tick any boxes, but we thought this would be an interesting conversation for a lot of criminology students to look at.
Yep.
So Ash, tell me a little bit about you.
I'm 26. I am a prison officer. I'm 1/4 Jamaican. So obviously my skin colour is slightly darker than most.
Yeah.
I think as such, obviously I've received a lot of negativity in the past. In my current capacity now, I see it, as a prison officer, I see it obviously from different perspectives and at different whereabouts, but yeah.
So how young do you think you were when you first started realising people were treating you differently?
Well, the first time I can remember is I was in reception, so what's that, year 4?
Yeah, about.
I got chased around the field by two lads who were shouting "Brownie, Brownie" at me.
Yeah.
Obviously, really proud mothers. So I got chased around the field. I remember, I think my mum went in about it, and the headmaster just sort of blew it off. So it was just like, oh, they're just children, blah blah. And I think my mum, she rang somewhere where it was like a charity to do with hate crime, something like that, and they ended up getting in touch with the head teacher, and he didn't appreciate my mother doing that. But yeah, obviously that's sort of, I've seen a lot of attitudes like looking at it now from where I am. I've seen a lot of attitudes like that from people who've never experienced racism, just sort of brushing it off.
Yeah.
And just, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's nothing, you know.
Principal just saw that as an inconvenience. Yeah. Why should I bother going forward with it?
Like, I think he sort of almost saw it as nothing more than just regular teasing.
Yeah.
When obviously it's not regular teasing.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What was what? Obviously, it's hard for you to remember because you was quite young. But can you remember what maybe your goal or your mum's goal or the charity's goal in mind were? I mean, what kind of change or action did you want to see taking place?
I think it's just like the sort of the education of it. I think my mother was just annoyed how it wasn't taken seriously. I spoke to her. At the time I didn't know she'd done that. I've only gained this knowledge from talking to her after. But she was just annoyed how it wasn't taken seriously.
Yeah. Just wanted people to react to it
just
appropriately.
It's the ignorance of it really, and I feel like there's a lot of that sort of attitude within society. Mm-hmm. I mean, my mum's white, by the way. It's my dad that's half Jamaican. So my mum was went to go pick me up once from school. And there was another woman that used to look after me and my younger sister. My younger sister is quarter Jamaican, just like me. Mm-hmm. And my mum overheard a conversation that one of the ladies said to this other lady that used to look after me and my sister. And it was something, she said something along the lines of, bearing in mind I'm around about 7 at this point.
Okay, so quite
7, yeah, and my sister's 3, something like that. Mm. Or maybe I'm 8 and my sister's 4. Around that sort of. So this one parent said to the other lady, "What are you looking after them two little children for?"
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like, and it's like, and this parent had, like, my mum overheard this, and my mum had always wondered why this parent had not ever spoke to her or included her in conversations. When you're waiting to pick up your children and stuff like that, and then obviously it makes a little more sense when you overhear that.
Yeah, so like all of a sudden there's kind of a realisation of these people are racist.
Yeah,
and maybe your mum being a white woman, she kind of didn't immediately see that around her, like, oh, why am I being excluded?
Yeah.
And then she overheard that, and suddenly, because she's affiliated with black people, she's now an outcast as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just found the entire thing incredible because why does the pigmentation in your skin? Yeah. I've just found it insane.
It's so weird, and as someone who's never faced discrimination based off your skin, it's so hard to kind of wrap your head around.
Yeah,
not only why people do it, but like the experience it must feel to get that.
I mean, but to be fair, as someone who has faced it, even I think it's just a mindset that you're in.
Now, this is a nice tie-in back with you because as a black man, you are victim to a lot of hate crime. You can be victim to discrimination. And when you're 4 years old and 7 years old, you're a vulnerable member of society. However, now, you're one of the biggest guys I know. You've literally just come here from the gym, and you're an extremely intimidating guy, especially if you was up on stage as well, playing in your band. Yeah. Do you still feel like today, not being a 7-year-old, 4-year-old kid, do you still feel like you're a victim to hate crime?
I mean, the definition of hate crime is a difficult one. I feel like I'm still, and I wouldn't ever put myself in saying I'm a victim, but I still would. I feel like people sometimes look at me different. Yeah. People treat me differently.
Okay. Well, I think maybe my way of going about the question then is just me maybe putting you on the spot. Don't put too much attachment to the word victim or to the word crime there. What kind of discrimination or abuse do you feel like you felt being made to feel different? Okay,
right. So I mean, the most recent thing that was blurted out of my mind, what I mentioned to you the other day. I was sat in my car at some traffic lights, and someone pulled up, and my window down. It was in summertime, like August time or something, like August, September time. Someone pulled up the side of my car and shouted or something along those lines, and then drove off. I mean, when I was talking to you the other night, he said to me, like, I said like, I find it hard to be, I find that hard for me to be insulted by that. Yeah. Because for me, what that shows me is, I think what my words to was, one, it's not even funny. Mm-hmm. They didn't even come up with a funny joke. Yeah. Come on, if you're going to racially abuse me, at least make it slightly hilarious. Come on, right? At least have a bit of brain power. Two, it shows me that themselves are just scared. I would have had more respect for them if we stood there and they came up to me and said it to my face, and then had to deal with the consequences of what would happen after. Yeah. I would have more respect for that. I know full well that I would have got more mad about it. The fact is, someone said it and then been too scared and ran off. That, to me, I find that hard to get upset over. But I found it easy to be confused over. Yeah. Why would you do that?
And this is like what took up quite a large part of our conversation from before. The fact that was your mentality of, well, it was just him being an idiot, and absolutely kind of, there was no thought behind it. That you didn't really take that much offence.
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, and I still can't get my head around that mentality, because I can't imagine someone just shouting that much abuse to me with that much weight behind it, just like that. You'd not done anything to him. It wasn't an insult based on something that you've done bad. No. It was just he saw you and decided he was going to insult you based on the colour of skin. And for me, that's something that's very strange to hear. It's
incredible. It's but I find it like, okay, so like one time when I have got upset, annoyed, whatever you want to call it, I was sat on a bus when I was probably about 19, 20, sat at the back of a bus. Maybe I was a bit older, because I've been going to the gym. So like, the whole purpose of me going to the gym is trying to be the strongest person I can be. Yeah. So I mean that plays into what I'm about to say. Okay. So I was sat at the back of the bus. There was on the first floor. There was near the front of the bus, in like the pushchair pram area, whatever. There was I'm going to presume it was a Muslim woman wearing a headscarf with her baby who was in a pram. Just in front of me and on the opposite side was a young, we're going to presume it was a young Asian teenage kid, fairly small. It was after I'd finished work, and an old man jumped on the bus, came on the bus with his wife, and he must have been drunk or something like that. Walked back, and I heard him starting, "These Muslims coming in our country," doing your usual bile. And he comes and sit down at the back and is still going. And I've seen the woman at the front, she's looking really nervous and uncomfortable. The young Asian teen who was fairly near, he was very uneasy. Me, as someone who I feel like, I mean, obviously I'm a fairly big guy. Yeah. Like, I'm very rarely intimidated by people. So obviously it's left down to me, despite the fact the bus was packed full of people. And I said to him, like, "All right, pal, we get it. Just leave it now. Yeah, leave it now. We've heard you. We know what you're saying." "Oh yeah," and he said to me, "Oh yeah, these Muslims." Looked at me, seen a brown man with a beard. "Oh, I bet you're a Muslim as well, aren't you?" And it got my back up, and I said, "Well, I'm not. I don't believe I'm not religious in the slightest. But even if I was, what the has it got to do with you?" Yeah. someone's religion has got, you keep it to yourself, has got no problem with anything. I've got no problem with anything. You want to believe in something, crack on.
Yeah.
Don't bother me. You don't need to tell anybody, it's got nothing to do with it. I said, no, what's it got to do with you? And he carried it, he started going, and I just went, just leave it.
Yeah.
You're upsetting people on the bus, just drop it out. So he started getting aggressive with me. And his wife was sat next to him, and I leaned round and I said to his wife, I'm sorry about this, but you need to tell him to just be quiet.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to get home here. She looked at me like I was a piece of crap on a shoe, and she just went, you just shut the up.
Jesus Christ.
Like I was a piece of shit. So, okay. 2 peas in a pod here.
So it wasn't the fact that he was drunk and out of his mind.
No, it's just that
his mentality.
These people was just pieces of shit. So that's their attitude. By this time I'd gone into the mode of I'm getting defensive here. I said to him, and I thought, right, this is a 60-year-old bloke. There's a no-win situation for me here. There's a no-win if it gets physical. No win.
Yeah.
There is a no-win situation. So I said to him, what's your name? Because I'm going to ring the police. I'm going to tell the police. And obviously I'm not going to say his name. But he said...
He told you it?
Yeah. And he looked at me and he puffed out his chest and went, my name is blah, blah, blah. I just went, well, congratulations, you're also an idiot, because now I've told you what I'm going to do. Carried on spewing some and then the bus driver stopped the bus. The bus driver, obviously hearing the commotion, came back. The whole bus was packed.
Yeah.
And he said, what's going on here? I said, you need to get him off. He's being racist. He's just been racist to me and to 2 other people on this bus.
Yeah.
No one else said a word. Now, the bus driver said, I can't throw him off, I don't have that power. Which, as we discussed, is a complete lie, because I've seen it numerous times, kicking people off bus. We all have.
Pull over in the middle of nowhere and they'll kick people off the bus if they see fit.
Absolutely no problem. He said, I can't do that, I don't have the power, blah, blah. This man's wife then was like, right, we're getting off. We'll just get off. So she basically pulled him off. Mm-hmm. And as he was walking off, he was like trying to bait me into coming off the bus.
Yeah.
As I said, it's a no-win situation for me. I was thinking, if I get off the bus and I bang out an old man, I've banged out an old man. If I get off the bus and I get banged out by an old man, I've got banged out by an old man. There's neither of those situations I look good. Yeah. So obviously I stayed on. They got off the bus, and then as soon as they got off the bus, everybody, oh yeah, he was being racist, blah blah blah. So why didn't anybody else say anything? Yeah. Why doesn't anybody ever say anything? It's that everyone. I mean, it's going off on another tangent, but everyone seems to have a mentality of nothing to do with me, not my issue. Yeah. I'm not. And I don't have that. I don't have that mentality because I don't like bullies.
And you've experienced it. You've experienced that exact type of bullying.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of if you're 4 years old on a playground or a 60-year-old man on the bus. Yeah. You know, that is racial bullying.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've suffered all sorts of bullying. Like my dad, who is a black man, he used to beat me and my mother. So I have memories of people trying to instill their will over me and standing over me. Yeah. And putting their pressures down on me, and in some cases, literally standing on me as a child. Yeah. So I will not. Now I'm at a stage where I mean, without sounding big-headed, I'm probably stronger than most people.
Anyone I know.
And I know that. What is the point in me going to the gym, doing boxing and doing the things that I do, if I'm not going to stand up for people who don't feel confident enough to stand up for themselves? What's the point? But there is no point.
In that situation, take that exact situation, that's our scenario. You've got a racist man on the bus, you've got vulnerable people, you've got someone like you who's standing up for the vulnerable people, and you've got up to 50, 70 other people on the bus, potentially, who were just keeping quiet. That man wasn't violent towards you, not physically, and even though he was trying to offer you out, let's face it, he wouldn't have done anything. A lot of these situations, even though they seem scary at the time, they don't need to end in conflict. They don't need to end in violence. And, it's not, you don't have to just go to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in years. I think I'd die if I tried to touch a weight. But that doesn't mean that I can't then stand up for someone.
No, it doesn't.
But I get what you're saying, that as someone who's witnessed bullying and intimidation and violence from a young age, you just feel like there's the need to stop it.
I won't stay silent. I just won't do it. If I see someone picking on someone who's might not even be a vulnerable person, if someone's been ganged up on, or someone's been out of order to someone, I might not come in guns blazing and this is that. I'll just come in, I'll try and calm the situation down.
Yeah.
I want no problem doing that. I know how to talk to people.
Well, I mean, that's how you started that scenario.
Yeah.
You didn't say to that guy, you didn't start effing and blinding and offering him.
I mean, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just stick a right hook on him straight away, bang. But that's your primal. You listen to your primal chimp up there. Yeah. Your chimp just wants to kill everybody. If as soon as there's a bit of conflict, he just wants to go. You got to think, nah. Let's think about this situation. If he'd have just gone, if any sort of normal person, if I'd have gone, all right, listen, pal, it's done now, mate. You've said your piece. Let's just drop it now. And yeah, mate, no worries. Yeah, you're right. I'm getting too mad. Yeah. This guy obviously didn't want to go down that route. So some people respond to that. From after that, obviously I went to the police and because I had his name, I told them his name, and the police said, "Oh yeah, I don't think there's anything we can really do about it."
That's ridiculous.
So I said, "Okay." Well, actually, I tell a lie. Before I'd gone to the police, funnily enough, it turned out that this man was some for indirect relation to my girlfriend at the time. Yeah. So there was communication. I ended up getting a message off him on Facebook saying, he obviously realised who I was. He found out who I was, and I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. So there's no thing. Okay, I'm going to the police. I'm going to go to the police. I went to the police with printed versions of his messages, admitting to what I'd done.
Physical evidence.
Yeah, actual evidence of what he'd done. It's not just my word against his, it's evidence. I said, this is what's happened. Police said to me, sorry, I don't think there's anything we can do. Okay then. So I mean, this could be totally unrelated. I don't know. I then rang the Hull Daily Mail and said, this is what's happened. They said, we'll look into it. A day later, 2 days later, I got a call from a detective, and roughly his words were, yeah, I'm not sure why we said we couldn't do anything, because it actually turns out we could. So someone came and took my statement, blah, blah, blah.
You reported his actions to the police. You brought physical evidence. They said to you there's nothing we can do. Mm-hmm. You got in touch with a newspaper who said, we'll look into it. They presumably got in touch with the police themselves to be like, just want to know what your opinion is. And then that night or the next day, a detective called you, going back on what a previous police member had said.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could be totally wrong, but it looks as if to me the police have gone, nah, I can't be bothered with that. Yeah. Then the papers, a media outlet, has then come in and said, oh, what's going on here? And they've had a rethink and gone, this could make us look bad. Mm-hmm. We best do something about it. I could be totally wrong, and that just individual policeman, when I first went there, he could have just been unaware of what they could do.
Maybe. But either way, that's a problem either way.
Yeah, of course, it's a massive problem.
Someone goes to report hate crime, and either scenarios are bad. The police are undertrained into what they should be able to do, or they're too overworked or can't be bothered to go through with the paperwork of having to go through with it. Absolutely. So either way, I think he ended up getting a fine and suspended community order, or I don't know, something that was insignificant, really. Yeah, something that hasn't really affected his life in the grand scheme of things.
And something that hasn't affected me. Is he going to carry on having those attitudes? Of course he is. Yeah. Probably even more so. Yeah. But that's. But
you kind of found yourself in the position of your mum. Quite ironically enough, those people, you were trying to look after them, like your mum was looking after you. You was annoyed by the fact that the appropriate authority wasn't doing what they should be doing. Yeah. You've both contacted external forces, and then all of a sudden stuff started happening.
Exactly, and then all of a sudden, what's going on here? I mean, I feel like if there is going to be a hate crime like that, listen, no one's died. No one's died. People have said some nasty words. At the end of the day, nasty words don't hurt me.
Yeah, but they can hurt a lot.
They can hurt a lot of people, and that'd be wrong. I'd be lying if I said sometimes people's words don't cut me deep. Yeah. But at the end of the day, no one's died, no one's been hurt. We've got on with our lives. Instead of him getting a fine, surely some sort of it should have to go to discrimination training or something like that. I mean, I'm very well aware that these things, because I've had to do it when I was in the prison service, these things are, but that's coming from me as a person who I would presume don't discriminate against people. I take people, if someone's I'll treat him like If someone's alright, I'll be alright with them.
Yeah.
I treat people on that, not based on any sort of colour of the skin, whether they're a man or a woman, what faith they have. So I think the training like that is a bit shit, but then again, I'm coming from a point of view where I already know.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I don't understand how people don't get it.
Yeah, it's like being trained how to drink water or eat food. It's something that's natural for you.
So it's like, come on, use your brain. Use your brain. The pigment in your skin doesn't make any difference. No. It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
So the incident with the police, and that thankfully got resolved in some way, whether we think it was an appropriate kind of sanction or not. Has that been like your only experience reporting something like that before?
I mean, I've seen it. So you would imagine, I'm a prison officer. Mm-hmm. You would imagine, there must be so many racists in there, blah blah blah. And you know what? Yes. Yeah. However, my experience of being in prison as a working in a prison, that's a completely two different things. Has been people in prison are much more tolerant of people of other faiths, of other skin colours. They just get on with it.
That's so interesting.
It is, and it's crazy, and it's something that is obviously in my job. There's a lot of dark moments.
Yeah.
You look for light. Mm-hmm. You look for shining lights in there, and that is one of the better things that I have.
That's so interesting.
I mean, I had a conversation because I'm on my wing. There's a few Muslims on our wing.
Yeah.
So obviously at food times they've got to have halal. Mm-hmm. It's got to be halal food, and where the order, there was a certain order of where the trays go and what tools you can use for the halal. So you wouldn't have the first tray being sausages next to the halal option, because if you're passing sausages over there, it might drip out into there.
Yeah.
Now that sort of thing, someone doesn't want to eat that. That's their faith. Okay, no skin off my nose, don't bother me.
Respect it, don't bother anyone else.
And you would imagine people would be like, no, I'm not dicking about doing that. I can't be asked. I'm not, but people just do it. Yeah, we'll need to move that over there. Not bothered. Oh, we'll just do it. Oh, we can't use them tongs over there. They're not the halal ones. We'll have to use these halal tongs. Yeah. And there's people who ask questions. Like there's people who ask questions. I've seen people asking questions about the call to prayer that the Muslim, where they sing.
Yeah.
It's a lot more like they are educating themselves.
Yeah, they're interested.
Yeah, so they're interested in, what's all that about? What's all that? Yeah. Well, actually, it's a call to prayer, blah, 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 blah. And they talk about it and people go, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I've seen people with Nazi tattoos, not best friends, but being unbelievably respectful and very, very nice to groups of Muslim men, groups of black men, where you would think, okay, this man's got a picture of Hitler on his back.
He might not be a big fan of that.
Yeah, but he's gone in there and he's been educated himself. He's gone, you know what? Maybe it's not all of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's so cool because, I don't know if cool's the word, but it's definitely interesting.
No, it's listen, everyone's got a preconceived idea on what prison is like.
Yeah.
I definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
That was a situation when I first went in there, I felt intimidated.
Yeah. I'm
surrounded by bad men.
Yeah.
And in the end, you realise, hang on, these aren't necessarily bad men. My take on it is, since I've worked there, no one is 100% bad. Mm-hmm. No one is 100% good.
Yeah. People
do bad things, but good people can do bad things.
Easy. It's just a situation that you find yourself
situational.
In. Yeah.
People who are born into poverty, and areas where jobs are difficult to come by.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that a lot of the time, the black communities living in no money, they see, I don't know, the local drug dealer comes in. He's got his Beamer. He's got some cool little cool rims on it. It's blacked out. He's got the latest trainers. He's got all the girls. That's what they see that. Like, we want that.
Yeah.
Who's to? And no one else has got that. If I'm wasting my time peddling, stacking shelves.
40 hours a week. 40 hours
a week. For nothing.
Yeah.
For peanuts. Yeah. This guy, I could solve all my, and I've talked to people, so I know this is the case.
Yeah.
I could solve all my mum's problems.
Yeah.
She's the same. My mum's worked her fingers to the bone for me, and we've gone without. She's gone without food and stuff for me. I could solve all their problems. All I've got to do is sell a little bit of this white powder.
Yeah.
Do you know? And that's not me vindicating drug dealers. Absolutely not. Listen, we're all responsible for ourselves. You want to sell drugs, you go to prison.
Yeah.
And you get caught, you go to prison. Yeah. That's the risk you run.
But a lot of these people see that risk as nothing in comparison to the rewards of it, of being able to be not only financially secure in yourself, but be able to flout that and be able to see, I'm not just living an okay life, I'm living my best life. And I'm supporting the people 100%. I love.
Now, for that person, you look at, and I know the people I am thinking of because I've met them, right? So, you're looking at them and you're like, you just go by the base newspaper headline, black drug dealer.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a bad person.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's lived in poverty his entire life. He's now sorted his mum's debts out. He's now sorted his own debts out. He's got loads of money. And he's paving the way for his family, to live a good life. He's just trying to get money in a community and in a world where there is little money, and he's seeing an opportunity. Now, does that make him a bad person? In my opinion, no, it doesn't make him a bad person. It makes him, whether he's a good or bad person,
doesn't come into that scenario.
He's a person that's done a bad thing.
Yeah, maybe.
But for what reasons has he done the bad thing?
Yeah.
And it's not a black and white issue whether people are good people or people are bad people. It's not a black and white issue. It's a very grey issue. Good people do bad things. Bad people sometimes do good things.
100%.
And it's a grey area, but it's an area where people don't necessarily want to wade into because it makes everything complicated.
Now, going back a little bit, taking that point and going back with the whole, I think a lot of people on the outside of prison do see criminals versus non-criminals as black and white.
Absolutely.
You're either a good person or a bad person.
Absolutely.
And then
I did.
Yeah, and maybe even someone who's committed a crime and gone to prison, they will have black and white views. Like a racist, if you're a Muslim, you're immediately the enemy. And then, like you said, they go into prison, and for some reason there's this clarity of everyone's in the same situation, and whether they're in the same situation for the same reason, probably not. You're going to have people who've committed loads of different crimes for loads of different reasons. But once they're in prison, they kind of realise we've all messed up.
Yeah.
And we're all in the same situation. And by the sounds of it, it seems like a lot of that racism kind of maybe goes away.
I mean, a lot of it does. Yeah. I mean, you're always going to get people. Some criminals are just scumbags.
Yeah.
You listen. You are going to get that. Some criminals who are racist go into prison. And it doesn't matter how many nice Muslim people they meet, they're still. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. However, like I say, it's not a black and white issue. Some people who go, some people are in prison are just bad. They are bad people, and they're not 100% bad because obviously they're not. They may be 75% bad. I don't know. I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge of the statistics and the percentages. However, I don't believe people can be 100% bad.
Yeah, and I think that's an important mentality to have, especially for a prison officer as well, to be able to look.
I purposely don't check what people have done.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want to know. Why do I want to know that? So that's going to check. If I see a child molester comes in and I see I look on his file and his child molester, I can't look that person in the eye. Yeah. I can't engage in conversation with that person. That debilitate. That's a word. Is that a word? Yeah, we're going to go with that's a word. Right. So that debilitates me from doing my job.
Yeah.
I can't then treat that person. I'm not there to
pass judgment.
To pass judgment and to punish these people. I'm there to make sure they're doing what they're meant to be doing, and to turn some keys and lock some doors and go home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If people need to be dealt with, then you have to deal with them. But I don't go in to deal with them.
No.
That's not why I go into it. If I can go into my job and have a laugh with these people, get them to respect me. Just do your time, learn some stuff.
Yeah.
Become a better person. All the sort of strategies that people have. Oh, we need to do this. We need to do that. Maybe if we put this class on this class, this will rehabilitate them. you'll never rehabilitate anybody unless they want to rehabilitate.
Well, that really leads me quite nicely into some questions out, because
As if by magic.
As if by magic, yeah. Like, my dad was worked in the prison service for many, many years, but I have very little knowledge of it, and I have very little knowledge of like the insight of a prison guard, if that makes sense. So there are some kind of things that I do want to ask you in terms of that. Now, first one being, just to kind of clarify, what category prison do you work in?
C.
And what does that mean for someone who doesn't really understand categories of prison?
So Cat A would be like Ian Huntley, sort of your high level terrorist, high level mobster.
Yeah.
Cat B would be sort of, a lot of people who go to Cat B are very violent people.
Okay.
However, they're not as high level to go to a Cat A.
Okay.
Cat C is like sort of anything below that, so you get a lot, but you can work through. You can work through them. Cat C is like sort of, you get anything from your run-of-the-mill scumbag who goes and bagels houses to someone who's been in 10 years and they've worked through, they maybe got to put in Cat B at first, and then they've worked through and they're coming down, maybe they're facing the end of the sentence or the last couple of years of the sentence.
So that sounds like it can be quite difficult, because...
Yeah, there's a big melting pot.
Yeah.
I've been told that it'd be better to go to a Cat B because then you're on the same wavelength. You know exactly who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I deal with people from, this is your guy who's just burgled a few houses, is now trying to make himself a name for himself in amongst some of the actual bad guys. And I've got some of the actual bad guys who come to the end of the sentence and they just can't be bothered doing anything. They don't want to mess up the chances of getting Cat D. So Cat D is open prisons and open conditions where there's more trust.
Yeah.
And sort of it's more trying to gear them up to go back into the real world and society. So Cat C is a melting pot. Low-level criminals and also high-level criminals that have come through. If, say, you attack an officer or you do something highly violent in a Cat C, you will get upgraded to a Cat B and get shipped off to a Cat B prison.
Okay. So there is quite a lot of kind of mobility between these categories. All right, sweet. Now, the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about is like prison myths. Now, I think you've already kind of addressed quite a few of them when you talked about like with someone who has absolutely no experience going into prisons from your angle or from a prisoner's angle. I would have instantly said, "Oh God, it is all gang turf wars." The stuff you see on films.
Yeah.
You've got your Nazis who stick together, and you've got your black guys who stick together, and they'll never meet and they'll never like each other.
Yeah, I mean, that could well be the case in America, but from what I've seen, that is not the case. I mean, there are your little gangs and your little things that go on, but from what I've seen, it's not nearly as divisive, as what the films would have it portrayed, because it's not. It's not as fun to think that you're watching a film, everyone's just getting on. It's not going to make a good film.
No, it's going to be drama.
Yeah, so you've got to have people, again, hate sells, as we said earlier, people hating each other. So
the film representation of prisons is almost as bad as media representation.
And the film representation of prisons is always, as well, if you notice, the prison officer is always a bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the poor criminal who's just gone in he's the good guy, but the prison officer's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Always. And that's why we are the forgotten service, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, that is like something privilege of not being a prison officer. That's something I've never considered. The prison officers are always portrayed as the mean, abusive, treat you like the scum of the earth. Yeah. Very black and white. You're a criminal and you are here to be punished, and I'm the one that will punish you.
I'm not paid enough to act like that. I'm not paid enough to. I want to go in, get my job done, and go home.
Yeah.
I'm not paid enough to go in there and make my life difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not paid enough. You want to pay me some more money to be more of a divvy? Yeah, okay. we'll talk about it. I'm not paid nearly enough.
So a bit of a negotiation.
Yeah.
Alright. So
that was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, we have to clarify for context.
Clarify for legal reasons.
Now, you kind of touched upon a little bit that people coming up with these schemes and strategies that this will rehabilitate a prisoner. Now, in your opinion, as someone who has been anonymised for your name, do you find that prison is effective?
In its current form, probably not. probably not. All these schemes and things that they're trying to trial out and so you want to sort prisons out, get more prison officers in, and more prison officers, experienced prison officers.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure on the numbers, but from what I understand, when the Tories got in, from what I understand, I could be totally wrong on this, but there was a cull of about 7,000 officers, and they've only recently brought in something like 3,000. Yeah. Now that was it's heading in the right direction. Okay, yeah, you are absolutely correct. However, that's 7,000 experienced officers that you've culled, and you've just brought in 3,000 newbies in.
Yeah. I
mean, it's sometimes it's a little bit chocolate fireguard.
Yeah.
You have such a high influx of new people into an intimidating situation. Yeah. I don't know, who chucked in at the deep end.
Can't imagine, there's got to be a top 5 careers of the worst place to kind of be a newbie, and to have
absolutely.
that many newbies go into the prison service, that sounds awful, intimidating.
Yeah.
You'd want one newbie surrounded by a bunch of experienced officers,
absolutely.
Get them properly trained, and then once you feel comfortable that officer's properly trained, bring in the next one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's what are you going to do?
Yeah.
They've already been, them 7,000 have already been culled.
Yeah.
You can't just go ring them up individually and go, you know about that?
Yeah.
That we did? Yeah, it was only joking.
It was years ago. They just sat there waiting for the phone. It's they'll change them.
You forgot about it, yeah? You can't do that. And it's a similar thing to the police numbers being cut.
Yeah.
The police numbers being cut. Surprise, surprise, there's more crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that?
Yeah.
Who's to say when I went to the police that they just thought, listen, we just don't have time to do this. There's not enough of us.
Yeah.
Who's to say that?
Yeah.
Is that an acceptable reason for not dealing with it? No, it's not. But it's a reality.
Yeah.
It's a reality.
I mean, we've constantly, just being a human being, you're surrounded by people doing jobs, and sometimes those people just don't do their jobs well. The point is, when it happens in something like the police service or the prison service, when the job isn't done well, it can have really bad effects.
Massively negative effects.
Yeah.
Massively negative effects.
Yeah.
And it's a dangerous situation. I've described my job quite a few times as working in a dangerous nursery.
Yeah.
You work in a nursery, children can kick off.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're dealing with 18-stone bloke kicking off, slightly different to a child. However, mentality of some of them is the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people just don't like being told what to do because they've never had it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is, and they don't like it.
No.
I make a point. With people when I'm at work of not telling people what to do.
Yeah.
I ask them to do it. They are going to do it, right? That I'm not saying you've got a choice.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, can you just do that for me, please, mate?
Yeah.
And they feel like, well, they know that I'm saying do that.
Yeah.
But you speak to them respect.
Yeah.
99% of the time, you give out respect, you get respect back.
Yeah. And it is good to hear that. That's the same in the real world as it is in the prison world.
These people are people. That's funnily enough that the moral boundaries may be slightly more blurred than ours, but they are still people. And it's like people out here. Some people, you give people respect out here, and they don't give you it back.
Yeah.
And it's the same as in there.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. I know to speak to people. I know to get on with people. But I also know that I don't have to get on with people.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's what makes me a good officer.
Yeah, and that's good to hear. Now, the way you've talked about prisoners, we understand that not everyone's the same. You can't cover everyone with the same brush. But it sounds like these are people, like we said, that can be polite, can be respectful, can be educated and feel the need to educate themselves, and they'll go out there and they'll push the boundaries of what they would have previously thought would be an awful thing to do, like a racist person, making friends with a Muslim person, and asking them about their faith and genuinely curious about it. So, I mean, you mentioned this word before, but in what way do you think the best rehabilitation could be brought on for a prisoner? How best can a prisoner rehabilitate, I guess?
I feel like the best way, you've got all the schemes, and you know what, if people are open to be rehabilitated, then these schemes will work well.
Yeah.
However, I feel like there has to be more. I mean, I don't know the answer to it. The only thing I can think of is it's a thing what we call, the technical name for it is pro-social modelling. So we treat them how we would wish to be treated.
Yeah.
So I do that we do that as a people anyway.
Yeah.
That's what we do anyway.
Human decency.
I'm not going to come in and he's a prisoner. I'm going to talk to him like. I'm not coming in and be like, all right, pal, you all right, mate?
Yeah.
I'll just talk to him like that. I'm not going to talk down to him. I'm not going to talk to... Because if I come in and talk down to him, already us and them.
Yeah.
Already, no, he thinks I'm a piece of I think he's a piece of
Yeah.
I come in and talk to him like a normal person, have a laugh and a joke with him. You know, this man could be a murderer.
Yeah.
It's not my job to go in there and judge him. I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to talk to him like a normal person. And if it's so... I feel like that is the only real way to lead people into thinking maybe the life and the attitude that I've lived, that I've had, is not necessarily the good for me to have that.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes down to the thing of the only way to rehabilitate someone is if they want to be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
So you have to show them. You have to show them that don't have to be aggressive, violent.
Yeah, there's a way of life.
You don't have to do that. You have to sometimes bite your tongue.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've said to prisoners, quiet, just shut up and let me deal with this, please. Like when I'm trying to help them out with something, and because I've given them respect, I pay them respect. I expect it to be reimbursed with it. Listen, I've told murderers to shut up when they're trying to argue with another officer. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Be quiet. Because right now you're making yourself look stupid.
Yeah.
Be quiet. Just think. Shut and breathe. And because I've paid them in respect, they reimburse me with it and they go, oh, okay, yeah, right. Okay.
If he's saying it, then I might be out of line.
Yeah, if I'm telling you, they know. Listen, if I talk to, if I had paid them in respect, they know that I care. Yeah. I care about them.
Yeah.
So they know that I care. So they know that I'm not just saying it for an easy life. I'm not just saying it because I want them to shut up so I don't have to fill out paperwork.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying it because it's detrimental to them what they are doing right now. Yeah. And they need to readjust their thinking about the way they're doing it. Yeah. So you can get away with it like that, and that's a little bit on their level of how to talk to people. And sometimes I've seen it with people I've met. People like not really at the start when I've known them, they've not been willing to engage, but over the time getting to know me, they've then got engaged, and then the respect, because I pay them in respect, they then respect what I have to say to them.
Yeah, and that's why pro-social modelling.
Pro-social modelling, yeah.
So they see someone acting positively, positive behaviour, respect, kindness, and through time the hope is that they'll realise, listen, I'm a person too. I appreciate being spoken to like that. I appreciate someone acting like that towards me. So I want to replicate that behaviour. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, there are some people where, like I touched on before, you pay them in respect, you give them respect, and they're just that's it. They're just because all they see is a uniform and that's it. So those people, they're lost cause. Yeah. So what are you supposed to do with them? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I know I'm not going to waste my time and energy. Yeah. I'm not going to waste my time and energy on them. I'm going to be, I'll be civil with them and what have you. I'll be professional with them. I'm not going to waste my energy caring about. I will do my job. Yeah. But I will not go above and beyond and go above the remits of my job for those sorts of people.
People who won't even give you an ounce of respect.
Yeah. Yeah. But however, the people that listen, I've got people who are on my wing who have like mental health problems. Yeah. But there's one guy who told me I am the only officer that's ever actually showed him that someone's given a
and supporting
basically.
Them they've got.
And I've gone out and you can. I mean, when people are in a bad headspace. Yeah. And I've gone out on the way and I've seen them going, oh, you all right? What's going on? Yeah. And nothing. Come on. Tell me what's up. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. This. Come on. Right. So and then you talk. You talk. Listen, I'm not a therapist. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a therapist, but I know. If you're in the depths of something, sometimes just knowing someone actually cares.
Someone who actually genuinely wants to hear, how are you? How was your day? What's wrong?
Tell me, let's try and find a chance. I know that sometimes is all you actually... You don't need the answers to your problems, because only you can have those. But just to know someone cares, just to know someone bothered, sometimes is enough to give you the kickstart you need to pull yourself out of the hole. Because you're the only person that can pull yourself out of the hole.
Yeah, yeah.
I've noticed with that specific prisoner, his respect for officers has gone up since he's come onto my wing and dealt with me.
Yeah. So that's pro-social modelling in.
Pro-social modelling in, I hate the term pro-social modelling because it's just what we should be doing anyway. Yeah. It's not a thing we should be... It's just being a human being. Yeah. You should pay someone in respect and show them how you want to be treated.
Yeah. So I think a nice last thing to end this conversation on is talk about rehabilitation stuff. Do you, in your professional opinion, think that prison is a deterrent for crime?
No. Simply not. People, as people, we adapt to situations.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's not a black and white issue. No, for a lot of people, no, it's not. For some people, and the amount of people I've seen, I will never go back in. I can't believe... And they're the people who are good people and they've just done something stupid. Say they've been out on a night out. I know someone who's been out on a night out. Someone was flicking a knife about. Bang! Dropped him on the floor.
Yeah.
And then kicked him while he's on the floor.
Yeah.
Right. Kicked him in the face while he's on the floor. Broke his jaw. He's been sent to prison. Despite that kid had a knife out, threatening to stab him. He's protected his life. Now someone's got a knife out. And you put him on the floor. There are certain ways of thinking that you want them to stay on that floor.
Yeah.
And then they've come down for a 3 stretch. Now then people have been like, oh, in that situation now. I'm just going to run away. I'm going to run away from the situation. I don't care. Is he a bad person? If someone coming at me, if someone's coming at me with violent intentions, you're goddamn right I'm going to defend myself. Yeah. Now, is he a bad person for defending himself? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
When he gets out, is he going to come back into prison? Hopefully not. And I've said to him, this is not the place for you. Yeah. This isn't a place for you. So people like that, yes, prison is a deterrent. Prison is a deterrent. For people who are about that life, that criminal life, it's an accepted danger. They'll come down and as people, we adapt to situations. I know how to live under stress.
Yeah.
It's just exactly the same for these people. They know how to live. Okay, so I'm going to live in suppression for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just something they accept. They'll go back out. Yeah. They'll keep on committing crime. It's
an accepted danger of the life for a lot of people. For some of the people in that life, when they come, they go, you know what, this isn't for me actually, and they do go. So no, it's not a deterrent to a lot of people, but yes, it is a deterrent to some people. You can't cover everybody with one thing. You just can't. It's as simple and complicated as that.
Well, I think that's a really good, simple and complicated way to end it. So we really appreciate you coming in there. Thanks very much.
Not a problem.
Cheers.